Well, I'm going to record it from now, so at least we'll get the last half.
Well, you know what's going to happen is this is just going to incentivize people to like show up on time.
Yeah, there you go.
Because they may not have. That's what's going to happen.
Oh, darn it. Okay, well, at least they'll get the last half. So when I send out the half of a recording, I will make sure to send them the goal sheet for everybody. That training on that goal sheet will probably take me a whole hour to do on its own. But the whole sheet is pretty self-explanatory, and I'm happy to help anyone one-on-one if they have certain questions about it. But you should always have goals at the beginning of every month because that's your GPS. You don't go anywhere without a map, and so you shouldn't go anywhere in your business without a map. You need to make sure that you know where you are and you know where you want to be. Because that setting those goals and being intentional with that will give you the direction that you need to make sure that you get where you want to go. And I also believe that you need personal and professional goals every month. Don't make everything about business. I'm going to read to you what my personal goals are for the month. So I wrote down so for my family and home, my anniversary is this month. So I wrote anniversary. Right? So making sure that I have a gift, making sure that I'm intentional about what Eric might want. For mental and educational, I'm getting ready to do a challenge on personal branding from someone else. And so I wrote that in. That's my education for the month. For you guys, it could be reading a book. If there is a book that I mentioned in here that I would like you guys to read this month, maybe that's your goal for the month, is getting the book finished. Physical health, I said sleep because I don't go to bed at night. I'm like one of those night owls. So for me, it's like my goal for this month is to get to bed by 10:30 every night. For social cultural, I said volunteering at my kids' school. That was one of the things that I wanted to do more of this month. For spiritual and ethical, I said daily journaling. So make sure that you also have personal goals, not just professional goals, because you don't want your personal life to fall apart as your business is growing.
We don't?
Some of you might, but I would say the vast majority.
I need to rewrite it.
You also need to prioritize your goals too. And I prioritize them in the way that what I'm least likely to do, not necessarily what's the most important. So, for example, in those goals I just read off to you, my anniversary is the same day every year. So chances are I'm actually going to do something about that one, right? But going to bed every night is probably the one I'm least likely to do, going to bed at a decent time. And so that for me was number one, making sure I'm getting to bed at a good time every night. If you're not a big reader, maybe reading is one of the ones that you want to put higher on the priority list so that you make sure that you're reading your chapter a day or your 10 to 15 minutes a day. And so for you, so a lot of people feel kind of bad if they don't put the spiritual part of it as number one. If you are a God-loving woman like me, that's probably not something that you need to remind yourself about every single day. And so that one can be a little bit lower if you have that as quiet time or something like that as one of your goals. But if you're like, oh man, I went the whole day and I didn't read a scripture, or I didn't pray, or I didn't meditate or something like that, then maybe you want that a little bit higher on your list. So definitely prioritize in the terms of what is going to be the least likely thing, but the thing that you need the most kind of way. Any questions?
Can you do a quick recap? Just not a long one. Just so you can go 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, just the things that we went over, so I make sure I didn't miss anything.
Yes, ma'am. Okay. Number 1, your money story that you're telling yourself today is the result of what your checking account looks like. So change the way you feel and think about money, and your checking account's going to change. Stop telling yourself, I'm terrible with money. I'm ashamed of what my credit card debt looks like. Stop telling yourself that you can't afford it, that that everything is so expensive, or that maybe you're on the opposite end of that spectrum where you're just like, I hoard everything, right? Stop hoarding everything, because that is sending out the message that you don't trust that you're going to get it back. So be a giver. Buy your friend a cup of coffee. Buy someone, give the guy $1 on the side of the road for a change. Like, give it away. Don't hoard it. You have to find
That's not my problem.
I know. I don't have that problem either. Build a healthy relationship with your money. Stop treating, Nicole and I actually talked about this a couple of weeks ago. Stop treating your money like it's your evil nemesis. Start treating it like it's your BFF that is going to just support you and love you and make you feel like you are Superwoman. Nicole, I'm going to put you on the spot for a second. Since we talked a couple of weeks ago, what's changed? Has anything changed?
Yeah, I mean, well, I wake up every morning and before I check my banking account, I'll say, like money flows freely to me, like the little mantras that we were talking about. John actually found a 20 in his pocket today, so that was kind of cool.
Nice.
Okay. So I'll tell you this story real quick. So a couple of days after we had talked about that, I don't have a printer for my computer, and I made a little extra money on the side, and I have always been talking about buying one. I just, kind of thought it's too expensive. So I went out the other day and I bought one. But here's the cool thing. So the printer was normally $40. I got it on sale for $20, and then I got the cord for $7. So in total, I saved $50 on everything. And I was like, oh, this is cool. It works.
Nice.
Yep.
Okay, don't apologize. Whatever you got, girl, you share away. Don't apologize.
The more info, the better.
Yes.
The more tools, the better.
Those are a couple that I like, just mainly because they are all about the energy. They are all about, and one of the things that I like, can I show you real quick?
Yeah, of course.
So I have to tab all of my stuff, so I always add things to it. But one of the things that I found really helpful with this was that it gives you room for your mission statement, and then it gives you like your law of attraction energy plan. Right? So it kind of gives you your little roadmap. And then it gives you, like, it has can you see like how big this is? So what it does is it will say, so it kind of gives you like your emotional vibration and the affirmation that you need to tell yourself based upon what your current emotional vibration is. So if you're angry, that means that you are in the emotional vibration of hatred or rage or jealousy or revenge. So then it gives you your affirmation that you need to tell yourself is, all is well. I love myself and I like myself. I let go of my anger so I can see clearly. It's just a feeling. Let it go. I forgive blank and let go easily. I am strong. I am bigger than this. I talk positive to myself. And then it can set you up for that higher vibrational frequency. And so it's like if you're then, just to the point where you're just frustrated, which means that you're emitting the impatient, boredom, pessimism, irritation, or overwhelmed, then it gives you your affirmation for that. So since ideally we want to be right up here at the very top, it gives you like your stepping stones of if you're feeling a certain way, then this is what you need to say. And it's all about faking it until we make it, until it becomes natural, until we're like, I don't even know where I am. What am I doing? What is my feeling right now? Oh, let me see. I am blaming. Who am I blaming? And then it gives you your affirmation so that you can begin letting that go, and then you take a step up, and then you take a step up. And then it gives you your action steps to feel better, to increase your emotional vibration. So if you're down in the blame area, become aware, accept your feelings and let go. Write down what you worry about. Write down your feelings. Close your eyes. Imagine talking it out loud. So, it gives you your very, very specific steps that you can take to take you out of that. And then it goes through, I mean, it like has so much freaking cool stuff in it. Important life questions. You know, what do I want to experience in life if time and money were not an issue? What brings me the most joy and sense of peace in my life? Set 50 goals in all areas of your life, and then you get to start prioritizing them. So then you've got, you know, create harmony, so you get the holistic, you know, spiritual, personal relationships, where I am now, where I want to be. So it literally, like, and I'm not even like finished with all of it because I just recently switched over from my passion planner. But then it gives you a place, which I have not yet done because I just barely got it, to write out all of your stuff, and then you get to keep it tucked away where nobody can see it if you just flip open your planner. But it's kind of cool because even in your days, it gives you your top 3 priorities. So you get to prioritize that. And then it starts your day at 5 o'clock in the morning and goes until 10:30 at night.
I love it. That's awesome.
So anyway.
So you switched, because I love the passion planner.
I know. But you know what I was finding with the passion planner is that I was just not staying consistently with that reminder for those energetic frequencies. And so like I can map it out, but if I'm not focusing and having those gentle reminders on what I needed to do to raise my vibrational frequency, then that's not what I was attracting back. And especially considering, you know, since the accident, it's been really, really hard to feel and to be reminded like how I was supposed to feel and to stay hopeful and to not get angry and frustrated and whatever. And I thought, a lot of people are like this a lot in their life. Like I run into them all the time. And if I could just go, don't you see what you're supposed to be saying to yourself to raise your vibrational frequency? Like, I just want to open my planner to everybody and be like, so how are you feeling today? Let's go for a few affirmations, shall we? So anyway.
That is awesome. And Michelle, look, you were looking for a good planner, weren't you? That you can recommend?
I'm that one out because
I feel like they just did it for you. That's like everything that you teach.
I know. It's like almost some of the things she said word for word.
Is that the one that she linked?
Yeah. And
Okay,
you know what's super cool is there's the morning manifesto. Sunrise manifesto, sorry. So I'm just going to show you this one too real quick because these are the 2 that I use predominantly, and I bought a few other ones with it if you guys want a few of the other ones. It's like the Law of Attraction Project Planner. So if like your project is to get to diamond, everyone, then that could be your project and you could just plan that out, right? So anyway, so like at the beginning, so this is it. This is all you do like in the mornings. And so it says, so this is your daily manifesto. Three things I'm grateful for. So 1, 2, and 3. So something I earned or was given. 2, a personal relationship. 3, something simple. So it's always like that feeling forward, that recognition, that daily gratitude. Something from yesterday that makes me smile when I think about it. So here, if you don't have time to like super journal, just keeping something like this keeps you in that, oh yeah, I remember when that was going on, because then you can come back and like fill in the blanks when you've got time. But in the meantime, you are already setting that energetic frequency in the direction that you want it to go. And every single day I miss this, my day screws up.
Yep. I'm with you, girl.
It says I could have made yesterday better by, so this is your accountability. Today will be a success if I am able to, and then it gives you a hint. It says think, attitude, accomplishment, joy, service, and gratitude. And then here's the kicker. It says if I could only complete 2 to 3 tasks today, I would blank. So it gives you your 1, 2, and 3. And then the second page is just your mind clutter. So this is each day take a few moments to write down any thoughts, big ideas, feelings that are bouncing around your head. Getting these out of your head and onto paper will allow you to achieve stress-free productivity throughout the day. Every day I miss this. I'm like, frick, what happened to my day?
I think that somebody really wise last month told all of you beautiful ladies that.
That's right.
I wasn't there, so I was feeling your cosmic energy. Literally,
I love it.
I ordered it a month ago. I've only been using.
There you go.
I changed over from the Passion Planner to the Law of Attraction Planner, and so I used it August. And then after that, I like started feeling so jazzed about it that I was like, okay. So I started looking up a few other things, and that's where I found the Sunrise Manifesto and the Law of Attraction Project Planner. And then I'll send you a couple of the other links that I got, because there's a bajillion different Law of Attraction books and everything that you can get. But these were some that I was like, ooh, yeah, ooh. One of them was 30, sorry, let me see, what was it? It was like 30 Law of Attraction activities, something that you can, just like regular things that you can do that you can just make part of your lifestyle. So anyway, I'm going to shut up now and I'll post links.
No, I love it. That's awesome, because that's really in line with what we talked about last month. And
Totally.
it truly is a muscle. You didn't, a woman or a man or anyone that's overweight didn't get there overnight, right? It was something that happened over a long period of time usually. And the same thing goes for your negative thinking. You didn't get that way overnight, and you're not going to fix it overnight. And so it truly is, working it is like working a muscle, and you have to do it every day. And I'm with Kate. Like, if I don't journal in the morning, it totally sets my whole day off. Because then I don't really know, like, did I have a good day? Maybe I had an amazing day, but because I didn't really like spend the time to think about it or to write out what I wanted out of the day, it just feels like I was all over the place. And so definitely totally on board with that. Just to finish our recap, so we want to make sure that we have a healthy relationship with money. Make sure that you're being really positive with it, that you're treating it with respect, gratitude, love, not having those yucky, nasty, evil anxiety thoughts about your online banking when you pull it up, like I was. Also think about the words that you use. Stop using the words expensive, I can't afford it, stop asking me for things, I can't afford that, or I can't buy that right now. Instead, say, it's not in my plan for today, or that is such a luxurious item. I love that. It feels good. Like, start thinking about things in more of that kind of way. Another really good thing I didn't mention before, but I'll mention now. So in January, my husband and I were saving up for a trip to Disney. And that is such an amazing story that I'll save for another day. But we actually were able to save up for it in a really short amount of time. But to get the kids on board, so they weren't asking like, hey, can we go get McDonald's? Or, hey, can we get some ice cream? Or, hey, can we have this toy? Every time they brought something up, I'd say, well, we could get that, but then we wouldn't have money for Disney. That nipped about a week of that, they stopped asking for anything. So if you can get your kids on board with something that you're trying to do as a family, that will totally change the whole energy of the house and their whole kind of understanding about what you're spending your money. I was so sad when that trip was over because it all started back up again. So I'm like, okay, what is the next thing we're going to save up for so that they're all on board? But definitely getting your kids into the mix will really help us a lot of that. Track your money. You can use the tools that track and save, like Kate mentioned. Another good one is just a manual ledger, like I mentioned. Or you need a budget, you get free for a month to just kind of start developing the habits. But definitely find something that you're gonna track your money, even if it's in a notebook. It doesn't even have to be anything fancy. Get out a piece of paper and just start writing out what you're spending your cash on. Check your accounts every day. Make sure you check your accounts every single day. It's the first thing I do in the morning. It's like now it's a habit, because for those months that when I was spending $1,500 on non-sufficient fund fees, it's because I wouldn't open up my online banking account because I was scared to death of what that balance was going to say. And so Brooke says she checks it like 12 times a day. I love to check mine like 12 times a day too, hoping that something else is in there. But definitely make sure that you're checking it at least once a day. Also, how you treat your personal finances is going to bleed over into how you treat your business. And so if you're a hot mess on the personal side, you're going to be a hot mess on the business side. So get your personal side in order, and then the business side will just kind of fall into place and things will start to make a lot more sense. Make sure that if you're buying stuff for your business, that it's smart, that it's going to help drive that revenue that you want. Don't just be buying things because you want to be nice or you think that might make someone feel better. Not to say that you can't do those things, but plan it out. Make sure it's not going to set you back for the more important things. And so definitely be very intentional about what you're spending your money on. And if you don't expect your team to do it, you shouldn't be doing it. Yes. Everything that you do has to be duplicable, because you're not selling an essential oil. You're selling a lifestyle. You're selling a change. You're selling, you're showing another mom who's working 60 hours a week that she can actually have a business from home and enjoy it and be present with her family. And so everything you do, she needs to be able to do. And so definitely be thinking about that as you're going through your day and dealing with your teams. Goals. So I'm going to email you my goal sheet that I use. Make sure that you have a good combination of personal and professional goals, that you're tracking it every single day. It'll explain how to do that in the sheet that I send you. And just make sure that you're prioritizing those. Okay, and then I sent you guys homework. So you do have homework for the month. A lot of it is the stuff that we talked about, but I want you to take a little bit more time and kind of get into some of the questions. Like, what did you learn about money from your mom, your dad, your grandparents? I want you to take the time and what haven't you seen, Kate? Oh, because you joined late, so I'll email it to you after we're done. Also, what are your memories of money growing up? Making sure that, thinking about like how I talked to you about what my first memory was. That's not a good memory to have about money. What do you associate money with? What doubts and stress do you have about money? So I want you to really take some time and just get real with yourself. Because one of the things that I learned and really answering these questions is that a lot of the stuff that or the way that I treat money isn't necessarily my true self. It's a lot of learned behavior that I've had to unlearn. And so chances are, if you're not really good with your finances, it's probably learned behavior versus just you being a flake, which is what I felt like. I just felt like, oh, there's no way. So now some of the affirmations that I gave Nicole, and I can give you guys also, are, I'm a financial genius. I'm so smart with my money. Money flows freely and abundantly to me. God is blessing me with financial success so that I can enrich his kingdom. Like, I just try to bring in all of that good stuff and know that I'm empowered with whatever it is that's coming into my account, that I am making good, smart choices with that, and with that money. The one nice thing that I like about the You Need a Budget is it will tell you the age of your money, which I didn't even know our money had an age. So as your money comes in, it will put it into a bucket. And as you pay things, it will basically take it out of that bucket. And so the goal is to get a money age of 30, which basically says that you're a month ahead, right? So think about that if you do something manual, or if you do that track and save, think about, okay, how long did that check last me? And try to make it, so now it's a game for me, right? I want that number to keep going up and up and up and up every single day. So I'm like, oh, dang, it's gone. It dropped down again or something like that. So now it's a game for me. And so make it a game, make it fun, make it a competition with your husband, whatever you need to do to keep you on track or to keep you accountable, do that. Also be thinking about who are some of the people that you admire with their money. What do they do with their money? How do they treat it? Are they givers? Do they overspend? Do they travel and create memories with their families? And start thinking about kind of that whole, what would blank do? right? So as you're thinking about spending, what would Michelle do? What would Emily do? What would Kate do? Like, think about that as you're doing that. And what are some of the habits that you can create today to be more like that person? So all of that's in your homework. You don't have to answer any of that stuff right now, but that's what I want you to spend the month on, is really thinking about that stuff. The other thing is that it's really, this subject alone is the most pivotal thing that you can do in your self-development realm. And it's one of the most things that gets the least amount of attention. A lot of self-development books or trainers or leaders will like pump you up and like, you can go do anything you want. You can become whatever. You can do this. You can do that. But they don't say like, get your money in order. Get your finances in order. Get a healthy relationship with that, because you can go off and tell yourself all day long that you're going to be amazing, that you're powerful, that you can do anything. But if your checking account, if you don't have control over that, you're never going to have control over anything else. And I'm passionate about that. That's, yes, Tony Robbins. Yes, I love Tony Robbins, Tiffany, but that's what he does. He's like, rah, 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 right? He, I will say, does have a certain aspect around the finances and stuff, but a lot of these people don't. They're like going to rah-rah you all day long, but then you're like, okay, great, but I can't even pay my bills. Like, how am I going to get to that point, right? You got to start there. And that's why the first 6 weeks of anything I do with anybody one-on-one is all about your money story, all about your finances, making sure you're good and healthy there, because then the rest of it just comes so much easier. And that's what you'll find in your own businesses if you get control over that. For you guys as this group, this is something I'm super passionate about. And if you are in that kind of situation where you're like, I just need someone, like Kate said, I need a bookkeeper that's going to help me, keep me on track, keep me accountable. I won't be your bookkeeper, but I will be your accountability partner. And so for this group alone, if you want that one-on-one attention, I'm going to do 4 sessions for you guys for $4.99. And normally that's like $7.50 a month for 4 sessions. So I've discounted it quite a bit because I really want you guys to see that and see those improvements. And I'm so confident that you guys are going to see that money come back, that if it doesn't come back, if you don't have an additional $4.99 by the end of the 4th session, I'll give you 2 sessions for free. Because I know I've seen it with every single person I've worked with, even Emily, in 1 session, you guys. So every single person that I've worked with, that we've been really intentional about this, has seen it come back.
But you have to do your homework.
You have to do your homework. It's not just going to show up in your account. But, God, wouldn't that be nice? But like even Nicole said, even the small things like that, like she saved $50 on a printer. It's that kind of stuff that we don't even think about. I jokingly, now when I find $1 in the dryer, I look at my husband and I say, money flows freely and abundantly to me. Because even just those little bits. One story, I did 1 session, and my first session with all my clients is by far my favorite because they're the most skeptical. They're like, this woman is just going to rah-rah me the whole time. I'm not going to get anything out of it. Like, I can just feel that when they come to the call. But by the end of the call, they're like got a whole new attitude. And so one of my very favorite stories is Krista. Krista was like the type A person, like everything's planned out. She thought that this was the most hokey thing ever. She thought affirmations were a little bit crazy, but money affirmations was way out of her comfort zone. But she did it because she's a good student and she's a type A person. And so everything I told her to do, she did. And we had our session less than 24 hours later. She messaged me and said, you are never going to believe what happened. I found $25 in my purse just floating around. I don't even know where it came from. I went to the store and I bought steaks. I thought they were $10 a pound. but I got $3 off. And then I walked out to my car and there was like a little pile of change, like right outside her car door. Now, in the grand scheme of things, that's not $499 in her checking account, but she would have paid attention to that had she not changed the way she was thinking. And so there's so much that you guys are missing that you aren't even looking for. And I bet that now that you're paying attention to it, in the next 48 hours, I want you guys to comment in the Essential Oils group if you find unexpected funds. Even if it's change laying on the floor outside of your car door, because all of that stuff matters. Because once you put that positive flow into it, you're going to see it come in ways that you didn't even expect. And it's just going to get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. Okay?
I'm up for the challenge.
What?
I love a good challenge. Let's do it.
Good.
True. It works. It really does. And my whole thing was that when I started like the affirmations and stuff like that, like I expected a check in the mail, and then like the printer thing happened and I was like, okay, all right, I see this. It's the little things and you don't really notice, but when you start putting that positive energy into the little things, it starts to grow bigger.
It does. So awesome.
Well, and I have to say, you can fall off the wagon, because I've gotten on this wagon where you're like, yeah, and then you go back to
That's
your
because
evil
you didn't
way.
read the book last month where it talked about why we fall off the wagon.
Yeah, I need to stay on the wagon. I need to read
No,
the book.
that's all your upper limit problem. That's all your upper limit subconscious telling you that you're not worthy of having those good things happen. And so you stay on the wagon and you're like, yeah, it feels good being on the wagon. I'm saving money. I've got more money in my pocket. And then you're like, your subconscious kicks in and says, oh, no. We don't stay on the wagon. That's not where we live. We live off the wagon where we're a hot mess, dysfunctional. We can't keep our checking account straight. We're overwhelmed. That's where we live. And so you're telling yourself that that's your comfort area. So the longer you stay on the wagon, the little bit further you get, then when you do fall off, you're like, hey, I stayed on a little bit longer, right? And so your upper limit stretches as you stretch. And so it's really important to make sure that you recognize that. And when you fall off the wagon, don't beat yourself up over it. Don't be shameful of it. Say, oh, yep, that's my upper limit problem. Feel the feel, recognize it, and then move on and get right back on the wagon. Yes, Kate, you either hate to lose enough to change or you hate change enough to lose. Amen. It's so true, because it's going to be miserable either way. And so why not just get back up and keep moving? I'll tell you, I hit my upper limit problem big time 2 weeks ago. I was like, this is ridiculous. What am I doing? I've got another hobby happening like that. I was like in this like rut of just, ugh. Last week, I sat down to do my goals, to set my goals for this month. And I went and looked at what my goals were for last month and where I came in. You guys, it was crazy. I hit 44% of my financial goal. I made 53% more than the last month. My list goal, so meaning the names that were on my email list, I got 140% of that. I had 30%, I hit a 30% goal of the number of breakthrough calls I had. And out of those breakthrough calls, I got 30% of those to sign on as clients. My Facebook ad conversion was at 180%. And 2 weeks ago, I was like, it's just another hobby. Because I was focused on one thing, and that was my financial goal. Because I was at 35%, and I'm like, oh, this is miserable. I'm not doing anything. I'm not getting anywhere. I'm just spinning my wheels. But then when I looked back on it, I made 53% more than I did the month before. So what that says to me is my goal was too high. If you set your goals way too high and you're constantly reaching for planet Mars and you're on planet Earth, you're going to feel like you're not getting anywhere. But yeah, so it's about making them smaller and making them attainable. And so this month, clearly I set some of them a little too low last month. And so this month I made some a little bit higher, some a little bit lower, so that I can see my progress, because it's all about your progress. But everybody has that upper limit. It's just your upper limit, Emily, is going to be different than Kate's. And Kate's upper limit is going to be different than Tiffany's. And so it's just about finding what your upper limit is, because we all have it. It never goes away. Sometimes you hear it like every level has another devil, right? And so, Kate's woes are going to be different than my woes. And so just feel the feels. Don't be shameful about it, and just move on from that. All right, that's enough for my preaching. I got a little bit preachy there. Sorry.
Okay. Can I share?
Yeah, of course. Go ahead.
So Emily, at least, I think Tiffany a little bit, knows the situation with our family this year. And so we were living in Europe, and we were getting ready within about a 6-month period of time to transition back to the States. And I came back to the States to go to doTERRA's leadership retreat, and I was hit from behind by a kid, and anyway, so the car accident was relatively significant. And so the last 7 months I have been, we had to do an emergency move from Germany back to the States. We're actually on orders to North Carolina. So everything went wrong. And it was crazy, because initially I was coming back to the States 4 months early so that I could effect a certain, put a plan of action in for my team. And so, and right there, the mother lode hits, trying to derail me from my course of action. So in part, I want to suggest that you recognize when there are alternative forces trying to keep you from getting to where you want to be, and if you know that that's your love and that's your dream, don't let it derail you. But over the last several months, it's been really discouraging for one reason or another, because it was a huge financial upset to everything, let alone, like Michelle's been saying, my thoughts were in one mode to support my team coming home, and then I was hurt. And so, and for the last 7 months, I haven't had an hour that I haven't been in pain, which is really distracting. And so there's fear there, and there's worry there, which is one of the reasons that I needed the Law of Attraction planner to keep me in check for what I need to be doing continuously. So finally, about 2 weeks ago, I just released it to God. And I said, not that I've been angry with him, but I was just like, you know what? I'm here for a reason. My husband is now in North Carolina. I'm still in Arizona. I feel, not to steal a phrase from Emily, but that I've been hemorrhaging money for the last 7 months. And I'm like, okay, not a good terminology to use. However, that's what it felt like. And I was just feeling really frustrated because I saw things start to slow down in areas that I wanted them to move forward. And I just want to encourage you to know that there is always a perfect plan. If you will look to see what that perfect plan is, because it might not be what you envisioned, but it is exactly what you need if you will stop and try to learn the lesson. So 2 weeks ago, I was introduced to a leadership development company, which is something that I will be revealing to you guys here very shortly. Emily already knows a little bit about it. And it was exactly what I needed. But had I not still been here, this duplicable leadership development, personal development, financial development plan would not have been laid perfectly at my feet in a time when I have the availability, because I'm not really traveling except to see Emily. to really be able to implement it and to have that downtime. And so in this whole financial upset, when my husband and I are just sitting here going, oh my gosh, how the heck are we going to be able to afford a home in North Carolina? We've got all of these medical expenses that most likely, I'm not going to put that energy out there. I'm getting reimbursed for all of these out-of-pocket medical expenses. Getting reimbursed for all of that, right? So, and so anyway, so we're sitting here and I added up what our income is, not our if come, not if I get a bonus or if I do this or if I do that, it's our income, right?
I love that if come. I'm stealing that.
So I added up what our monthly income is. I put a pencil to it and I was like, Dave, I'm like, you're going to be a geographical bachelor for a while because there's just no way that we can buy a house right now. There was just no way. So, so anyway, so I said, you know what? Here's the deal. Happen one way or another. We're going to make it happen. And we just put that forward as our frame of mind. And I asked him, I said, are you on board with it? Like literally, we're not even going out to eat. I know that that's our sacrifice so that we can get to where we want to be because we spend a whole lot. I keep him a bookkeeper because she saves me money. However, she saves me from the tax man. However, we're not going out to eat until we have this result. So I am not kidding. The next day, once I had everything penciled out and I asked my husband and I made myself my little, even though I've got my bookkeeper and I've got Track and Save, I also have a little book that I keep in my purse so that I can take it out. And I've got on each one, I've got my monthly budget. So I have $250 for gas. And each time I get gas, I write down how much I've spent so that I have an idea how much I still have left for gas. And I just go on and put like, you know, one thing for each month, right? Or one thing for each item on the plan. So, so anyway, the very next day after getting this is just how everything comes into perfect alignment, okay? So the very next day, I'm sitting down with the husband to one of my best friends, and I said, okay, and he does mortgages and all of this, and we were like, okay, am I on the right track with this? I just wanted to like bounce it off someone. And he was like, well, Kate, he said, you know, you've got plenty of equity in your home. He's like, not that I encourage people to use their home as an ATM, but right there, before you get reimbursed from all of these other things, you can, like, you've got plenty of room. And this is just not saying like everybody has to have like room in a mortgage because not even everybody owns a home. But the point is that a solution will be found as you open yourself up to receive that solution. And it wasn't anything that I had even thought about. And literally it took $2,200 worth of payments, monthly payments that we have accrued since this accident that are kind of lurking over our head until we get reimbursed, and consolidating them down into like next to nothing of a payment, so that like really setting us up so that within 18 months, including homes, cars, personal, business, everything, you know, properties, all inclusive right now, all of our cumulative debt, we will be 100% completely debt-free in 18 months.
That's
100%.
awesome.
But initially, it takes that huge, heavy load of what was looming on me off of me so that I can more fully focus on that plan that was derailed because it was such a freaking awesome plan that and allows me to be able to get back on track to that. So my suggestion is absolutely everything that Michelle has said, that the first focus before I could focus on anything else was to figure out where I was financially. And from there, everything fell into place. I mean, within hours, it fell into place and a solution was found that going forward, all of that energy can be put into something so much more productive than worrying about finances. And the only reason you worry about them is because you don't know where they are or where that light at the end of the tunnel is.
Yep.
So,
Agreed.
like, jump in. The water's warm and it's beautiful.
It is. I agree. And I do think it takes a lot of courage to do that too, and to hand it over and to be willing and open and courageous to see those doors when they come to you. But definitely, I agree. Like, and everyone's limit is different. You know, I always describe it in the sense of Have you ever had like a lot of really good days in a row and then you always find yourself saying, well, something was bound to happen? That is your upper limit problem. Or you have so many good days and then you get sick or the kids get sick. Upper limit. Last week, a client of mine that I had been working with launched this landing page where she's starting to collect these emails, right? Amazing. She had amazing response on Friday. Saturday, like something pretty significant happened in her life. And I'm like, upper limit problem. Like everything that goes wrong in your life, or every bad mood that you have, or every bad mood your husband has or your kids have, it is all around that. So if you didn't read The Big Leap last month, read it, because it will seriously open your eyes to so much of what's going on around you and so many blocks that you put up against yourself that it'll just help you recognize that. So those upper limit problems, instead of lasting a week, 2 weeks, as Port Kate said, 7 months, instead of it lasting that long, it will last, sometimes it's hours. My upper limits would take me out for months before. Now it's a day. Last week it was a week, and I was like, this must be a really big one because I've been feeling this way for like 5 days. So I'm like, something amazing is about to happen, and you better believe that I've had a killer week this week. So I'm like, okay, I'm just stretching my upper limit a little bit higher so that when next time it hits it, maybe it'll be a month from now. And so I definitely highly, highly encourage you guys to upper limit is just really, that's what it is. It's just, it's that feeling of when things get feeling too good that you sabotage yourself in a way to set yourself back. So for example, I'll use it in a term of that maybe something you guys can understand. So you've enrolled 10 new people and you're like, hot dog, I enrolled 10 new people. I feel great, right? And then 2 people cause drama. 1 person just is MIA. They won't even call you back. Another person is like, causing all of these problems. That's upper limit. You have all of this good stuff happening, and then your subconsciously sabotages it so that something bad happens. Another example would be you and your husband are getting along fantastically. Like you're like, finally, like we're in our groove, we're clicking along, things are happening, things are doing good, right? And then your kid like totally screws up at school. That's totally upper limit. Or you pick a fight. A lot of times that's what I do. I'll like pick a fight, or I'll purposely like close myself off. I'll get really guarded. That is my own upper limit. I'm like, before a year ago, I was like the queen of self-sabotage, the queen of it. I would sabotage anything that could possibly be good in my life. But now I recognize when I'm starting to do that, and I give it a name, which is the upper limit. Oh yes, You Are a Badass is one of my very, very favorite books. That one is so good. It truly is. It's like you have these like self-perceived, kind of think of it like a ceiling, like you have like this lid on your head of like, okay, I can't get a little bit higher than that ceiling because that would be way too good. I'm not worthy of that. I don't feel good when I do that. I can't be successful. People like me aren't successful. And it's like all of this like crappy self-sabotage, subconscious stuff that you're telling yourself that you don't even realize it. And so those are the things that I want you. And the same goes for your finances. You do really good tracking your finances. You're really on top of your spending. And then the tires, you got to spend $900 in car repairs. Like all of that stuff. Once you open your eyes to what it is and you're like, yep, okay, welcome. You're here. I'm going to feel the feel, and then you need to go away. And sometimes I have to outwardly verbalize it. Like, you don't belong here. You don't get to be here. You need to go away now. And I'll do that during my quiet time if I'm really having a bad day. And the journaling helps with that. A lot of the stuff that Kate mentioned will help get a handle on that, because you'll start to see a lot of the good stuff come about. that will overtake a lot of the bad stuff. All right. Does anyone have any questions before we end?
Okay, so you're saying when we meet that upper limit, we accept it, we acknowledge it, and then we move past it as quickly as possible.
Yep. Either through meditation, prayer, mind dumping it into your journal. That is really what helps me. Like if I can get it out on paper and read how ridiculous it sounds, then it makes it a lot better. And sometimes you can't even see it until you're through it. Like for me last week, I couldn't see all of that yuck happening until I was through it. And a lot of times it takes like other people helping you with that. In my situation, I was partnering with this girl and she like took off like a hot air balloon. And I was like, oh, no. We don't do that. We don't get to do all of this fun stuff. That's not how we operate. No, we operate back here. So I'm like frantically trying to hang on to her to keep her grounded to planet Earth. And she's like, I am going, whether you want to come or not. And so there was like this friction of her like going and me trying to like ground her to Earth. And then finally I was like, you know what am I doing? She's ready to fly. And here I am, my subconscious is saying, oh, no, Michelle, we don't do that. Things like that don't happen for us. So finally, once I like verbalized it and realized what it was and decided that I was going to let the chains off, my whole world opened up. And so a lot of times that's what it is. Like you just want to stay in your comfort zone. And so the more you go out of your comfort zone, a little bit easier that it is. Any other questions?
That is awesome. This was a great session.
Good. Okay, so if anybody's interested in those 4 coaching sessions, make sure that you email me because that was good through Friday. And then next month, let's see what our topic is for next month. Oh, next month will be a fun one. Next month is personal branding and creating an online presence.
Excellent.
So the first 2 months is kind of like that heavy stuff, like just getting it all out, making some steps to get yourselves flowing in the right direction. And then next month is about personal branding, creating an online presence. And then month 4 is about attracting your ideal clients.
Okay. So Friday the 9th is your cutoff for the $4.99.
Yep. And like I said, if you don't make your $4.99 back, if you don't acquire that, and by the end of the 4th session, extra on top of what you normally do, then I'll give you 2 sessions for free.
Okay.
As long as you do your homework.
Homework is included in that deal. Darn it.
That's a smoking deal.
It is a smoking deal. I promise you're going to get your money back. No doubt.
That is a really good deal.
I'm totally confident in it. And I would love to work with any of you and help you guys along. Nicole and I have been having our chats, and she's doing awesome. And it's been really great. Oh, yes, Gabby, I'm rambling on. I'm going to let you guys go because I know some of you guys have to get to bed. It's 10:30 here, so I can only imagine what it is if you're in the Central or Eastern time zones.
And she's got a baby growing.
Oh, yes. So I will email you guys the half of a recording along with your homework, along with your goal planning sheet, and that should be enough to get you guys moving.
Thank you so much for your time, Michelle.
Oh, you're so welcome. I will talk to you guys later.
Thank you.
Okay, bye.
Thank you.